What's up, guys and gals? This is Mad Biking. Today, look, I'm playing Minecraft. It's not the point today. The point today is I've gotten a comment or two on a video I made a while back about Ddlg. I think it was one of my pixel rants, I believe. And I got a specific comment, and I'm not going to say by who. And I guess shout out to you for making the comment, and I appreciate it, and it's one of the reasons I'm making this video. So, the question was in the comment, how do you spot a real Dom slash daddy? And as you know, since I am both a Dom and a daddy, but I can also only offer my perspective on it. So, here's what I have to say about it. And these bullet points, if you will, are sub approved. I had my sub help me write them.
Hi.
Yeah. So it's not just purely from the man or the woman's perspective, it's both. Um, so, yeah, we'll get into that right in a second, because as usual, I'm playing a game, which also means I'm kind of blanking out a little bit, so this might end up being a longer video than I intend. But, oh well. Let's see. If you're wondering what I'm doing on Minecraft, I'm currently making I'm making a floor base to make either a house or a base. God, that's confusing. Okay, so the first thing, obviously, and I say obviously because it's obvious to me, is SSC. And if you don't know what that means, please tell me you've at least heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, please go research it. Especially if you're a Dom, and it doesn't matter if you're a female Dom or a male Dom or somewhere in between. I don't know what you go by. I don't care. Whatever your perspective on it is, I suppose. So, SSC means safe, sane, and consensual. And it's pretty straightforward. It's if you're doing something like edging or something that could be potentially dangerous for your sub, then you're going to need to make sure you have. We'll use an extreme example here. If you're doing knife play, sterilize your utensils. You gotta make sure you have bandages and paper towels and stuff just in case. And hell, if you want to go the extra yard, have 911 on speed dial just in case. Sane. Well, I guess that depends on your perspective and what you both are into. And I do say both are into for a reason, because if you're into it and she or he is not, then I'm not sure that it would meet the third requirement of consensual, if you know what I mean. It might just be a forced thing, or if it's a trial thing between you two, that's one thing, but if it's not, then you guys need to have a serious talk, without the titles, without whatever, just as a couple, you two need to have a serious talk. That's my opinion about it, and yeah, we'll get to the rest of that in a moment. So, we've talked about safe. So sane is within reason. Everybody has their boundaries and limits. Doms have limits, even though sometimes we don't like to talk about them. It takes a while, because honestly, for me, it took me a while to even bring up my boundaries and shit with my sub, because I have trust issues. Honestly, there it is. I have trust issues, and I had to make sure I could trust her before I could talk to her about it. So, if it's the same case as it was for me with it, and you're not sure if you trust your sub, then do yourself a favor and go light on it. Like, light on the scenes, the spankings or whatever, or god damn it, and stuff. And if you see a blurry thing pop up on my screen, somebody is inviting me to a game, and I do not want to go play right now because I am talking to you guys. So you should feel very special. So yeah, there's that, and then consensual, of course, is pretty fucking straightforward. If you're doing something with someone and they don't like it and they don't want to do it, and you're sitting there threatening them with stupid shit, blackmail or otherwise, you're not a dom. You're a scumbag piece of abusive shit, is what you are. And yeah, you need to be jailed immediately because you're essentially raping that person. Alright, so that was SSC, or safe, sane, and consensual. That's the first one. Let's see. Yeah. Second bullet is to spot said dom or said daddy to see if they're legit. Is if you look closely enough, you'll definitely notice that the sub has all the control. And she gives all the control willingly. Another part that I think also plays into SSC. I mean, it's my perspective on it. If you guys have different perspectives, you just write me a comment. We'll talk about it. Or I'll make another video or whatever. Or hell, I'll do a live stream about it and we can talk about it on there. I don't care. Just make your voices known. Because I'd like to see other people's perspectives. But, anyway, back to the video. My bad. A little, advertising never hurt, I think. And if I sound nervous, it is... I am nervous. It's because there are some people out there. I'm not saying whoever's watching is one of them or not, that are purely in it for the sex or whatever. But again, we'll get into that later. I have many bullet points. Thanks, babe. You know what's funny? I'm going down the list like it's numbered. 1, 2, 3.
You mean like it's not numbered?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, age. Age is very important here. Very, very important. It could save you prison time. And I'm not saying don't get caught. I'm saying don't do it if they're a certain fucking age. Like, wait, or find someone your own fucking age. Or at least 18 years old. Because that's when... state consent ages may be different, but the national consent age is 18. So... I would just be... I'd rather be safe than sorry with that. And... like, for instance, if you're a little, or you're a sub, and if you're a little younger, say you're like 16 or so, well, that's fine. And I'm not saying for the sex part, I'm saying at least research it, find out more about it. Maybe use these tips or whatever to see if whoever you're listening to is a real dom, or if they're just trying to manipulate you and take advantage of you, because there are people out there that'll do that nowadays, and it is a shame. So yeah, just for everybody's safety and not jail time, just worry about the age. If you're 16 and he's 32, don't do it. That's fucked up. He's a pedophile. Don't even, no, just don't. Okay, safe words. If you are practicing it and you are of age, definitely have safe words, especially if you're into some of the more edgy play, like spanking, knife play, I don't know, electrical play, but whatever your dangerous kink is, choking, blood play, it doesn't matter what kind. I'm being distracted by movement to my right. Rope play. Trying to think of examples here. Sorry. Clamps. No. Sometimes the sub can't talk, so safe signals work too. So, for instance, if she's in a sensory overload, then you need to fucking check on her because, and speaking from the Dom's perspective, you need to check on her because most times she'll be like, "Oh my god, this feels awesome," or "This hurts so much," or whatever, and she can't talk. So you got to look for body signals. For instance, if you're choking him or her, like I said, I say him or I say her usually as sub because my sub is a her, and it's our thing. So if you hear me saying that, don't think I'm sexist or anything. I'm just from what our dynamic is. That's what I'm going off of. So if you hear me say her as a sub, don't think, oh well, it's the patriarchy. If you're a feminist, don't be a fucking don't be into Ddlg. Your friends will make fun of you. They'll make fun of you and call you what was it? Inner misogynist, I think. I think somebody called my sub that once on Tumblr. It was hilarious.
They said I had internalized misogyny.
Yeah, probably. I guarantee it. She's my sub. We both hate that shit. Anyway, getting off topic.
You're giving an example about what happens if you're like choking, like the signals.
Yeah, for instance, if she starts getting blue in the face, you've gone a little too far and you need to take your hand off her throat. Two, if you see her, look at her eyes, for instance. What?
When like you're choking, a good signal's like tapping.
I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Don't rush me. That's an order. Don't you roll your eyes at me. I'm serious.
Okay, you're gonna continue.
Stop giggling. We're gonna sit here until she stops giggling. I turned the mic off for that one too. I turned the mic off for that sneeze and it still echoed through the headset. Okay, so also another thing, another sign that you may need to, again, with the example of choking, you may need to stop is, or not may need to, it's like you need to stop, let her breathe, is if she starts tapping you or your hand or whatever, some part of your body where you know you're going to notice someone tapping. It doesn't matter how sadistic you are or whatever. If you're a true dom slash daddy or mommy or whatever, you're gonna know that means stop, I need a minute, or stop, I've had enough. And it's your job to say, okay, you've had enough, we'll take a break. If you want to do more, let me know. And don't think it's all on the dom, because it's not. Subs, this is speaking to you. Subs, littles, whatever. Middles, I'm speaking all here. It's also your responsibility to tell your dom your boundaries, your quirks, kinks, because if they do something that you don't like that you haven't told them, you can't put the blame on them for that. And if you do, that's kind of fucked, I think. I think it's very fucked, actually. Because that's actually happened to us once or twice. Maybe more than that, I don't know. I can't remember. My memory's bad. Yay! Once or twice where she didn't tell me something was, I'm not saying edgy, but I think we were doing edge play, and I went to go do something, and I'm not gonna be specific because this isn't a porn channel. Um, Although someone might hear this video in the background and think otherwise. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's funny. Um, we were doing something, and she basically freaked out on me, and I asked her why, and she was like, "I'm not okay with that," and I was like, "I didn't know that, so why are you blaming me?" And
Can I add to that too?
sure.
And sometimes it's not an all the time thing. Like, for example, I have bad knees, so sometimes I can't do things that would, hurt my knees or something. Or, there might be someone who maybe, like, I don't know, say they broke their arm or something. Well, obviously, they're not going to be able to do things that would involve their arms or being tied up because they broke their arm. So sometimes it's situational. It's not necessarily an all the time thing. And you need to discuss that before if it's just that time or overall.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, I told you it was from her perspective too. I wasn't joking. I wasn't lying. Something I didn't do. Which one was I on? Do you remember? Safe words, right? So
Oh, you're on Aftercare.
no, because I haven't
You
talked
just.
about what kind of words to use.
Oh. Yeah, you did. You already said, like, random stuff you don't
No,
say all the time.
no, I didn't. I
Oh.
said that to you
Oh.
before I even started the video.
Oh. Well, then, yes, you are on that one.
Head pat of sadness. So anyway, as we are just bantering, um, the safe words. Use something that you don't usually use in conversation, like the name of a fruit, or like the word red, or apple, or um, light, or possum, or like just something that makes your brain go, "Wait, what'd you say?" Like, and don't make it a purposely triggering word, like somebody who's had like a traumatic event or whatever, and you say a word that correlates to that event. Don't do that. That's not edging. That's not anything like that. That's obviously a hard boundary, and if you're crossing it on purpose, you're a fucking piece of shit asshole abuser. That's what you are. Don't do that shit. It's not cool. You'll cause more harm than good. Cause a lot more harm than good. That's not what you're trying to achieve here. And if it is, go fuck yourself. I hope you die and rot in hell. That's what I have to say about that one. And you're going to hear a lot of that, actually. People who are fake need to stop what they're doing now, go find their own kink to fuck up, and stop messing with mine. That's also how I feel about that one. Okay, we move on to number 4, aftercare. See, examples of aftercare doesn't have to be, oh, well, I'm just going to lay here and talk. I mean, it does help, especially if they're in little space or they're in subdrop. Um, an easy way to explain subdrop would be can't think straight, um, feels like your body's kind of broken. Um, and hold on, I'll get you an insider's perspective. How would you describe it?
It's kind of like, that feeling when you're on a roller coaster and it's going really fast, or like it goes down a really big hill, like the vertigo feeling you get, and that thrill you have when you get off the roller coaster. That's basically how it feels, except for a prolonged period of time. And then sub drop is basically once you start calming down from that, it just hits you all at one time and just slowly starts going downwards. Like from that high that you got, that thrill you got, it slowly goes down from that back to normal. And sometimes it can go lower than that, and you can have like a a doubt of being down for an hour or so. It depends how intense it was. It depends on the emotion. Sometimes for a lot of times if your sub's a woman, it depends on what she ate, if she's where she's at on her ovulation. There's a lot of factors that can go into it.
Alright, so Doms that have no idea what the fuck she just said. You know when you have too much fucking caffeine and then you start to crash? That's what it feels like. That's what I got from that. I'm sorry. That's, again, my perspective. That's about how it feels when I'm in Dom drop. And it does happen. I'm not like a sissy, or I'm not like a cuck or anything. That's not what that means. It means, to a certain degree, we're more emotional than other Doms, or you're on an emotional level with your sub, and it's not just a once in a while thing. It's not just whatever. It is integrated into your lifestyle. That's why it's called a lifestyle. For people that are wondering about that. Okay, so I already went over 5, and the sub gives Dom control. And with that, she can take that shit away whenever she fucking wants. And again, if you try to latch onto that and say, oh, well, I have all the control, bitch, or you little fuckboy, I can do whatever the fuck I want because I'm the Dom. Stop what you're doing, look yourself in the mirror, and shoot yourself in the face. Because not only is that not good for you, that's definitely not good for your sub, and you're supposed to be sort of a caretaker and a caregiver with that when it comes to this stuff. I'm not saying like a child. Well, if you have a little, of course it's like a child, but not in a stupid, nasty way, and we all know what those are because we've all heard it from the SJWs. Oh, you're a pedophile. You're a pedophile. No, I'm not. I am not a pedophile. You're the ones that are making it that way. And if you knew anything about it, you wouldn't say that. And it's true, though, unfortunately, that with this newer resurgence of people saying, oh yeah, well, I'm into BDSM, I'm into Ddlg. There are people that do manipulate and take advantage of, and sometimes they are way older than their sub, quote unquote sub, aka manipulee? No. The manipulated person. I tried to come up with a fancy word for it. It didn't work. Anyway. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that shit happens like that, but it does happen, again, unfortunately. And I wouldn't necessarily say it puts pressure on those of us that are real. It's honestly an annoyance, because it's like, really? You're gonna be a piece of shit and give what I do a bad name because you're a piece of shit? And like I said, it's just really fucking annoying, and I wish people would fucking stop, but I know they're not going to, and just it bugs the fuck out of me, honestly. It does. And grr, that's what I have to say about that. It's grr. Let's see. And this. Let's see. What else is on the list? Alright, so it was 5. Okay, 6. This is for the Doms. And the daddies and masters and whatever you call yourself. Dom drop is normal. I'm gonna be probably maybe one of the first people you hear say that. Dom drop is completely normal. Some of us that are more sensitive to what our sub is feeling, or how much pain we inflict on our subs, for those of us that are somewhat sadistic or completely sadistic. We enjoy giving pain, but it comes with a price of feeling guilty, and sometimes you need reassurance, like you still love me, or like, are you okay? And did I hurt you too bad? And in those instances, you definitely need your sub to be there for you. And this is another responsibility of a sub. It's not just to cater to every whim. It's not just to say, okay, well, you did what I wanted, you can go fuck yourself. No. It, if you don't take care of your dom when they're in dom drop, shit can go like completely wrong. And I mean, like, it'll basically sow thoughts of insecurity and mistrust within not just your kinky relationship, but also your regular relationship. Assuming that's, again, your guys' dynamic. Yeah, it's not a good thing to go through. Again, that's happened to us before, and I understand where she was coming from. She didn't know that when that happened, that kind of stuff would happen with it. So I don't blame her at all. She'd only been with pieces of shit that claimed to be a daddy or a dom or whatever. So again, I understand where she's coming from with that. But yeah, it's not a one-way street. It's not just the dom takes care of the sub. The sub has to in turn take care of the dom. You guys ever heard the saying teamwork makes the dream work? Well, it's true, and it does apply here as well. So, yeah, there's that. Um, 7. Alright, so people say, and I've seen people say this, I've heard people say this, and I completely disagree with it. And that is that BDSM and DDLG always has to be sexual. That's a lie. And I will give you an example why that's a lie. Because not everything has to be sexual. And if it is only sexual, again, it could be because you're dynamic, it could be whatever reason. If that's how you guys are into that, that's fine. But if not, and you're actually in a relationship with that person, listen up, please. Okay, it doesn't always have to be sexual. It really doesn't. It could be in a way such as doing lovey-dovey stuff together, outside of the bedroom stuff, like going to see a movie or cuddling or just kissing, kisses, tickling each other, or, talking, having fun, playing like PlayStation or like Call of Duty or something, or whatever that both you and her, or her and you, both like to do. And sure, it's like, oh, how does that stuff correlate to that? Well, if you are in a relationship with that person and not just a sexual relationship, then believe it or not, that shit it helps. It helps strengthen your bond to each other. It helps you guys trust each other a lot, actually. It's the little things that make a relationship, and I stand by that quote. In any kind of relationship. 8. Alright, switching back to just the doms, daddies, mommies, whatever. Let's see.